Hello everybody and welcome back to M&J Games. I am Michael. Now today I'm really excited about this because I am looking at a park or reviewing a park created by Themed Thrills, or as some of you may know on the Discord as Angry Emerald. Wow, I can't speak. And this is a park called Piraten, I hope I pronounced that right, Bay, and it was created for the water park contest on the Discord. And sorry if you heard that noise, my cat just jumped on my back, so I'm sure I have scratches now. But yeah, super excited to look at this. This is on the Xbox, so this is a pre-recorded video by Themed Thrills, and I really thank him a lot for that. But I want to give you guys a little backstory before we get started. So it says in the late 1930s, the Darter family wanted to expand. They expanded the family farm. But when the Darters' great-grandchildren took over in 1992, they wanted to follow what their grandparents had planned to do and build a water park. They added 4 slides and a rapid ride before sadly going bankrupt in 1999. Because of this, they sold the park to a large corporation who added a multitude of slides and a large CCI wooden coaster. The park is just about to reopen for the 2021 season, and you've been invited to test out their new and improved water coaster. Enjoy. So I love it when parks have a backstory. I would really love to do that for, excuse me, one of my future parks. But as you can see, I mean, this is part of the water park contest, so it's not going to be a large park because there are some rules and regulations. It looks like this was created on the Xbox One, since it shows these at 99%, which was the limit you could build. And as you can kind of see that obviously this originally started out as a farm, and so I really love the detail there that I'm sure we'll go into and get to see glimpses of. And now I haven't really looked at this video before I recorded it because I wanted everything. Maddie's farm. Look at that, Iron Maddie. You getting a shout out. And yes, I've been meaning to get this done for I believe a week or so, so I apologize for recording this a little bit later. And Jasmine's been really busy with school and stuff. Yeah, and so this right here, I know Maddie was the first one I saw that used this trick. So it's taking the bamboo hedge and turning it upside down. So it kind of looks, and I know Maddie does that a lot around like water and stuff like that, to kind of give it a cool look. And so just a really cool and unique farm. And of course, Tommy Siem's cows. Tommy, you're never going to live this down. Oh my gosh, it's hitting its udder. That is the weirdest thing. All right. I don't know if I've ever noticed that before, or maybe I have, and I'm sure I said that. Oh, and Plipcam Stables, getting all the shout-outs here. They're hippos in the stables. Well, I guess we don't have horses in the game, so. And sorry if I cough, I apologize. So yeah, this is really nice and really nice detail, and you know I love it when parks like this kind of, in a way, reminds me of when Moomin did his Worthington Farms. It adds more to the park other than just a theme park or a water park component, right? And so yeah, those are created with the haunted house beams just turned white. I do wish though if you turn them white that they would still look completely white because they almost have like a grayish tint to it. But I really love the look of that roof. And then you've got what I'm guessing this is going to be their house. You know, a lot of detail, really well done, and this is a really, really big piece of farmland. And so it really looks good. I love what I'm seeing so far. Love the detail. Yeah, I mean, I just love the creativity here, because I don't know if anybody else in the water contest had this kind of idea of creating kind of a farm as part of it. And so this is really, really cool to see. And you see the drive, obviously, that the cars and guests come in on. Now, one thing you could have done in this little cave is you could have used, whether you wanted to use cement or, you know, just to kind of make it more of a tunnel. And so you come in and there's the parking. Although I will say it looks like there's not enough space for the cars once they actually pay to come in for parking to actually move around. And then I also would, because I believe Plip said this on another video, when you're creating your parking spaces, I would just move them down just a little bit. You know, because in real life, obviously, those are not going to be raised up. It's going to be painted on the ground. So I would move them as low as you can without it actually to where you can see that it's actually on top of the ground. And if for some reason some are lower than the other and so forth, in terms of that, just means your land's not flat enough. So then you can just flatten out the land and then redo the terrain paint. But I really love the detail of this car park. It looks really nice. I would have just spread those out just a little bit more, just to give it a little bit more space. And then I love all this rock work and this foliage work too. And like I said, sorry if there's some background noise. My cats tend to go crazy at this time of night. And so it looks like, sorry, I looked away for just a second. It looks like that would probably be the hotel that's a part of this park. You know, pretty generic, but also, you know, it's a place for guests to stay and stuff like that. And it's got a separate parking lot, so that's good. So, oh, you also got disabled parking. Okay. So, and here's the main entryway. And I love the building pieces that you chose to use here, because it just really kind of gets that beachy vibe using that painted wood. It's not the painted wood batten. It's just the painted wood, and then using those colors. It looks really good. And you've got the spotlight showing. Oh, man, I love the lights over back there that are lit up. Oh, that is so cool. Back there on your wooden coaster. Wow, that's fantastic. And it looks like we got some litter on the ground that needs to be picked up. Is that litter? Or is that... I don't know, it almost looks like purposeful because it's everywhere. But yeah, so right away you can see here you've got some slides, and it says the wait's 5 minutes. And obviously these are not accessible by guests. But to me, some of the stuff that's the coolest to do in the game is the stuff that's realistic, that guests can't actually access in the game. So it looks like to create that you probably used just the round cylinder pieces, and would that be the circles kind of put in between? But it looks awesome. Looks really good, really well done. And I love this kind of support system that you have for it, using the wooden beams. And then you obviously use the coaster supports. So really well done. And you made each slide unique. And it's almost like as you go left to right, they kind of get a little bit more intense. Well, I guess the first two are pretty basic. And good usage there of the waterfalls, or yeah, I think that's the waterfalls. Yeah, to make it look like there's water there. So really good job. And I appreciate you kind of showing me what you did on some parts, highlighting stuff and deleting it. I really appreciate that. And then so there's like I guess that'd be like a restaurant, as I said, pizza. And now there was a limit on the contest, if I remember correctly. So I actually did not participate in it, but I think you can only have like 20 utility buildings, which included staff rooms, bathrooms, food stalls, I think ATMs, anything like that. So that was probably the reason for not actually making that an actual pizza restaurant, was just for saving that. But man, this slide is really cool, and just how you created this, and that is... good gosh, that is an intense water slide. I wonder if there's one that steep in real life, because if so, I would not be going on it. Like, water slides I don't like. I'm just not a big water park person. Because at least with a coaster, I mean, you are like, good gosh, that is so steep. Wow. That is terrifying. At least with a coaster, you're strapped in. I think that's why like some like those drop rides, I don't feel as protected as I do on coasters. But yeah, so really like what I'm seeing so far. And then also the use of different tree types is done really well here. I feel like sometimes the stuff I struggle with is figuring out which tree type to use in which area, and making it look natural. As you can see, this is just a lot of copy and pasting of these steps, but it looks really good. And so it looks like we are acting like a guest. And I didn't even realize this before, having the barrier up. I like that. And I can see some other slides in the distance. Oh man, I would die right here. I feel like there's no way a slide could be that steep in real life. Not trying to nitpick, just being like, that is insane. Like I said, if so, I do not plan on riding it. Man, the detail right there too, of even having the arrow sign of kind of directing the guest where they go when they get off. And then I do like these slides. I think these are cool, the ones on the right that we just saw. So it kind of gives me that. I believe it's like, what's the place at Disney? Laguna Beach, is that what it's called? Typhoon Lagoon? I can't remember. But I think they've got some like that are kind of iconic. If not, feel free to let me know, and obviously I'm misremembering. But you could use, I believe in the contest you could use 5 rides, but there had to be at least 3 water rides. And so obviously the coaster and then this looper count as the 2 rides in the park that are non-water rides. And the slides don't count as a ride because the guests can't actually ride them. But just the detail here is awesome. A lot of rock work, and good job merging the rocks too. It's so annoying how the texture for the rocks just kind of goes away sometimes. Ooh, I like this little station. It's nothing overly complex, but still got enough detail, and it's unique. Looks good. Good. So I find that when riding River Rapids, the orbit's good, the chase or the looking forward is good, but definitely not the first person view or guest view, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be spinning around the whole time, because I want to actually visualize and see what was created. And man, this is I hope you guys are noticing the detail on this, not just the rocks. It looks like probably coaster pieces, like the coasters, or no, maybe that's just a firehouse, whatever it is, the cement that has been placed around the entire track, to where you're not actually seeing the sides of the River Rapids track. That is phenomenal. Oh, and you got a little skull kind of shooting out some water. Really good detail. I'm really impressed with that. And guys, as I said before, if I didn't say this, I apologize. Make sure to go check out his channel. I'm putting the link in the description below, as well as the link to his series, because he's doing a Let's Play series where he's going through and building this. The videos are not overly long. If I'm remembering correctly, they're anywhere from like 5 to 15 minutes, and just a really phenomenal job. As you can see there, I don't know exactly what that's for. Is that just a swimming pool for some people, or what? Now, one thing it is hard to do is get the water done, but wow, that's a clever idea for a lifeguard seat. Wow, that is very clever. Really good job. As I said, go check out his channel, guys. He does such a good job, and he does really well with these cinematic videos he makes. So make sure to go check out his channel, look at his content, and this is phenomenal. I wish we could cross-share from Xbox to PlayStation and so forth, because there's so many wonderful creators on Xbox that I would love to review in terms of their parks and stuff like that. And this is fantastic. Just once again, would never ride that slide, but I love the detail with the kind of shipwreck boat and stuff. And then you've got kind of the food court. Once again, these slides are really cool, and then even just adding the detail of having the steps in between, and just really, really well done. I feel like, so if you look on the side, there was a part where you could see a little bit of the grass, and although it looks like it might just be on one side, oh, that's the railing. I would have just maybe continued those down all the way to where, you can't see the grass if you're looking through the side. Now, this is one thing that I'm noticing here is, and I'm sure this is due to how you created the paths and stuff, but I would just, it's annoying sometimes how the paths are created, because you can see how it's cutting off like up to their ankles on how you were covering up the path and stuff there. And I would just try to find some way to lower it down. If not, because of, I guess maybe it's because where you've created the paths, it has to have curbs, so that'd be my guess. And you don't want the curbs to show, which is exactly what I'd be doing as well. So that part gets annoying. Like, why in the world can we not remove curves off elevated paths? That, I don't know. I'd love an answer for that from Frontier, but hopefully that can change. And no, it looks like we see a Cascade Coaster there. Looks really good. Oh, I just noticed that those are supposed to be. I was wondering what those things were on the slides. Those are supposed to be like the floaties, like actually, or the rafts, or not rafts, but like I said, I'm not big on water parks. Whatever it's actually called that you float on or take going down the water slide. It's really cool to see how everybody does these kind of lounge chairs differently. So you're using the rectangular pieces, and then you got the music sign. Wow, that's really cool. That I would not have expected that that's how you did that. And then really good use of the pirate canopy. Another thing that's annoying is how the rocks lose their texture as you get closer to 100%. Okay, yeah, so those things in the middle there that you're seeing, it's kind of like the guests are taking the I'm sure I'm saying this wrong, the floaties up to the top to go down the slide. Oh, I just saw another slide to the left that looks really cool. Okay. It looks like we have a sectioned off area, which would be for, what does that say? Oh, you're naming the, beneath, Adel Rocky, Iron Matty. Named yourself there. Let's see. Hi, M&J Games. Thank you. Celium. Yeah, and so naming a lot of the players on the Discord who are, you know, we all really try to support each other, and the Discord is fantastic for anybody who wants to join. I can put a link below for the Planet Coaster Discord, but it's just a way where we can all kind of show off our work to each other and get advice, because we all kind of, you know, we need advice from people and constructive criticism too on what we can get better at. But really good job there in use of the different pieces to create the kind of, are those supposed to be the floaties or almost like those little motorized water boat things? These floaties normally don't have like the hand rests on the side, or at least they don't here in the US, but really, really wonderful job. And then for the building, so this is just a staff building with vending machines in there too, and another little restaurant. Looks like we got a little backstage area here. Excuse me. Yeah, so really good job just kind of cluttering it out with a lot of stuff. Looks great. Although I will say, I think those cargo boxes, not cargo boxes, those cargo containers are probably placed awkwardly because those things are so massive and heavy. They probably would be placed one directly on top of each other. But that looks like those are parts of the slide that are being made. Really, really well done. I love my backstage areas, as a lot of you guys probably know. I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff in these parks. And it's cool too how it's kind of, oh, that's custom supported. Okay. Yeah, because it probably removed all the support, so you had to add in something. Oh, that's a cool way to custom support it there. Good job. Because when I saw the bottom of that, I was like, wait, this isn't an RMC, is it? And then it's like, no, I remember he said it's a CCI. So somebody would in the comments below, because to be honest, I've only ridden one GCI coaster, and I don't know if I've ridden a CCI coaster, which the GCI coaster I rode was Mystic Timbers, which was fantastic. But what is the main difference between GCI and CCI? Because obviously they both make wooden coasters, but like, what's the difference in terms of the design of them? If any of you know and are watching, I'd love to know that. But as we can see, 35-minute wait for the. Is this this is another water slide. You can see the coaster right there. Really good views. So it looks pretty like your kind of traditional wooden coaster, a nice out and back layout. Hopefully a lot smoother than traditional wooden coasters. Slide number 3. Oh man, another steep one. Whew. Man, you and these slides. Oh, so that's 3 sign right there. It's supposed to represent the 3 slides, maybe. But look at the supports on that. That is cool. That is unique. I don't know if that's how it actually be, but either way, it looks awesome. It looks kind of like a cool architectural design. So I'm guessing those 3 is representing the 3 slides that we see. Once again, we see more restaurants. So just a couple stalls right there, which looks good. You know, the only thing I'd say is to have stuff either be more visible in terms of the stalls or decorate the interior, but I know you kind of ran out of percentage and stuff. And it looks like you used the haunted house beams again, the large haunted house beams there. And this is going to be the line for, let's see. Okay, so you have these custom fencing here, which is nice. I maybe would have just added a couple more. I think they're maybe a little bit too spread out to be realistic. Now, I could be totally wrong on that, though. And it looks like this is going to be the Cascade Coaster. Okay. Now, I'll be honest, I've never made one of these in the game. So I'm not that knowledgeable in terms of the realism of them and stuff. Because these are also ones I don't have a desire to ride on in real life, but they're really cool when I see people make them in the game. And nice job having the custom kind of railings on the side. So let's ride the coaster and I'll talk to you guys afterwards. Really well done ride. The coaster was super smooth. Maybe one of those turns was a little bit tight, and I think it probably came back into the station a little bit too fast. But I know if the design component of it can be tougher sometimes. So yeah, look at that wooden scaffolding pieces for the roof. Just using a lot of different pieces, and I love the custom supports that you used and the custom buildings for the water coaster. I think that is really well done. So I think we've seen most of the park. We still got that wooden coaster to ride. And there should be one more water ride somewhere. Okay, so it's showing that where the edge of the park is, I'm guessing. So, and I like the use of the fencing, as my European friends say, the don't die fencing. We just call it chain link fence here in America. But don't die fencing makes sense. And so really good job with all the custom fencing in this park, as it looks fantastic. So there you can see what the water slide looks like and the view the guests would have kind of looking up at that water slide. So now it looks like we're heading towards the location of the wooden coaster. Oh, we got this larger slide. Yeah, this is the one that, gosh, what was it called? There's one near where I lived growing up. Now, I never went on one just because they terrified me, to be honest. It's called Vortex. I can't remember. There's that, It's called Wild Springs. Honestly, can't remember the name of the theme park in Little Rock, Arkansas, the water park. Yeah, man, I can't remember the name of that place. But yeah, that looks amazing. Just the detail that you use there and stuff. So now we got the wooden coaster, and you got another swimming area here to, looks like swimming laps. Splash zone. Okay, so there you can get splashed with water as the people slide down the slide. And it was using the rectangular shape, so that's a really good job. That takes a lot of detail, a lot of time. Once again, use of foliage and rocks is really nice, and using a different style of rocks too. Alright, so it looks like we are going on a riverboat ride. And the queue's really nice, a lot of foliage. You kind of feel secluded and separated from everything else in the park. So this is the Armada. And once this gets going, I want you guys to enjoy the water ride, and I will talk to you guys after. I guess we're maybe just walking through it, but as you can see, a lot of detail. Oh, looking at night, we got, oh, I like that. You got some of the kind of the firelights. Man, I'm forgetting my words today. It's starting to get late, so man, this looks really cool, really well done. Once again, I mean, this had to have taken a lot of time just to place that amount of rocks is insane. Oh, and that's part of the reason why I used a lot of rocks too, is because that backs up to the parking lot. Okay. It's a cool job to still make it feel secluded. I need to put the challenge on for myself to do a dark ride on the next park, because I just haven't done a dark ride yet. Oh, and that's really well lit up at night too. So we're seeing everything that looks about normal lit up, but you've got the two water rides. That's not the Cascade Coaster, lit up well with the rocks and stuff. And I love the lights that you use there. Really, really well done. So looks like we got like a food hall, or I'm guessing that's where you can eat at. So you got bathrooms there. I guess that would be food. Okay, you made these custom benches just using the thick wooden beams, so really good job. Hey, Themed Thrills, if you would, let me know what that building was supposed to be, because I don't think I saw a sign or anything. So we got the wooden coaster here, a little bit of fencing there. And you got the transfer track, love it. And I just noticed, okay, yeah, so, never mind, I thought those were like directional signs, but that's just naming the coaster. Yeah, I'm more of a fan of riding most rides during the daytime. I like how you put the signs about how many minutes you got left depending on where you're at in the line. But man, I would hate to see a sign that's telling me exactly how many minutes I have left. I wouldn't like that. I don't mind telling me how long the wait is, just don't tell me how many minutes I've got left from a certain point. But really long queue, really nice, and it looks like you've got this area too that would be, like you said, an extension, but you kind of put some weeds and stuff in there to kind of show that it hasn't been needed for a while. So that's kind of a cool touch, and then using some of the temple pieces for the station. So it's definitely a very unique station. I really haven't used these pieces much yet, and I like how you've labeled the rows. And it looks like the Gnarler coaster, I think, which just kind of seems like the more modern coaster design, which I guess those are the CCI coaster trains. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Alright, so let's great stats on this coaster, so we'll ride the coaster and I'll give you guys my thoughts afterwards. That was an awesome coaster. I would like to ride it in track view, just because I feel like seat view sometimes still kind of has a little bit of a, what should I say, a little bit of a rocky or rough kind of take to it when, you know, riding it in track view is to get the smoothest ride possible. And so it looks like we're riding it in night view now, so you can kind of see the lights going up. But this reminds me of Mystic Timbers a little bit. Just kind of with the first half of the ride, reminds me of kind of the middle portion of Mystic Timbers with how it does its turnaround and some of the little airtime hills, but then a lot of airtime hills at the end. So I will talk to you guys after. Now, anybody's welcome to correct me if I'm wrong on this, but maybe the one thing I would change is there at the end. I feel like those airtime hills, you could, instead of having like 3 or 4 of them, have 2 or 3 and just extend them a little bit in terms of having it less drastic with the incline and decline. I think that first one's good. I think a couple of those at the end are probably a little bit too drastic in terms of the degree to which they incline and decline, because then you're not giving the car enough time to kind of level back down before it goes back up again for an airtime hill. Oh, and I love the little, oh, never mind, I thought that was a security camera. That's just the Pirate there. But yeah, really love the coaster. You know, like I said, I don't know what makes a CCI different from a GCI other than it's a different company. And I think the coaster cars too. But really, really wonderful job. Love the queue, and I like how you've made this area look like it's kind of overgrown. But really wonderful job. And then now we're looking kind of at the station, using those temple pieces, and looks like we got stuff in the trophy. For conquering the ride. But this does kind of feel like if you were to have a farmland that kind of then created a theme park, it would have a kind of classic, well, like a wooden coaster like that would be the ride that they kind of open up in the park. So we got a nice little shop here. You see all those extra boxes, and you got box lights. There you go, and just put out the lights. That's really creative. And then you got the shirts. You got the newspaper stands. You got trophies for conquering Piraten. I guess it'd be Piraten, because pirates, Piraten. That makes sense. And then you got your on-ride photos. So really well done. So I guess instead of using TVs, you just use like the 1 meter by 1 meter screen sheets. And then you got the transfer track here, which I love my transfer track, so this is great. Yeah. Now what you could have used there, instead of using the cables, you could have used the locomotive rail for it to slide on, and then you use the cables kind of like you have underneath to represent the electric power going. But I would have used the locomotive rail, the 4-meter one. And then in here, it looks like we have 2 separate coasters. So really nice transfer track. The only thing I would say is, how are the employees supposed to get up there? So that's one thing you always need to think about too with realism, is not just creating this maintenance area, but how can your employees in theory access it? And it looks like we got a little maintenance area to the back here. You got another garage and full of stuff. Okay, a couple more coaster track. You got some more supports, some lifeguard stuff. I mean, this is probably 2 or 3% of your counter here alone. But really good job. You got the queue signs. You got some fencing. So really good job. And we got about 3 minutes left in this video. So we've seen the vast majority of what we're going to see in the park. And I like what you did too, using the, I think you did use locomotive rail there for kind of the garage door, and then another little maintenance area back here, storing stuff. So it looks really good. A lot of detail. Excuse me guys, I just yawned right there, my bad. And then once again, we see the pirate area, and you varied up your roofing, which is nice. Staff only, so we got kind of a walkway for staff, and I'm guessing there's gonna be a staff building back here. So canteen. What is in there? So it's like a doctor area. Is that supposed to be? Canteen. Never mind. I guess that's supposed to be a place where you cook. So since you got the fridge and refrigerator, yep, never mind. Not a hospital area. I don't know what I was thinking. It's supposed to be somewhere where you eat. So it's like a dining hall for employees. But well done. I feel like so many lights in this game don't actually do anything. Really nice touch there, used for using the computers. Piraten Bay by. So really well done. This is obviously one of the staff offices. So really good job. How many pieces that scenery had? Yeah, so that's just the sci-fi kind of workstation. That's really the best we can do to have it look that way. So Piraten Bay, the big screen. Ooh. Alright, so we got about 45 seconds left. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this video. What's your favorite part of the park? Have you seen any of the other water park submissions? Because I do plan on, I know Jasmine and I have talked about doing some tours on some of the water parks. But man, this is just a beautiful park, and really well done. A couple things here and there that I talked about that I would do differently, but overall, really enjoyed it. Nothing major that I looked at and said that I would end up changing. But yeah, so we're down to 15 seconds left. So remember, as always, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and go subscribe to Themed Thrills. And all the links are below in the description. So thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.